class we have discussed about loss of returns. That too we have discussed about increasing returns to a variable factor. Now in the today's class we will discuss about constant returns to a variable factor. Okay. Now you need to understand what this constant returns to a variable factor means. Okay. Every successive unit of a variable input applied on fixed factor, that is lag, will add same to the output than the previous unit. Okay, this is what we call it as constant returns to a variable factor. Okay, we will understand this with an example. So let us consider a production function wherein we will be having input and output. We establish a relationship between output and input now. Okay, let us consider that when first unit, that is 0th unit of input is applied, the resulting output, let us assume it as 10 units. Okay, when the first unit is applied, then it will be 50, second 20, third 25. Now you can observe when input is applied in varied proportion on a fixed factor line, how output is responding here. Okay. To understand that, in the last class itself I have told you, that is the response part will be obtained in the form of marginal physical product, which is nothing but the ratio of incremental change in output to the incremental change in input. So that we need to get this ratio, that is incremental change in output due to incremental change in input, which is nothing but MPP or marginal physical product, which is nothing but it is the slope of production function or total physical product. Is it clear? Now with this information we need to elicit these two additional variables, that is delta x and delta y. You know how to determine delta x? It is nothing but change in x, that is the first unit applied will be 0, later 1 unit will be applied, in the sense the change in input applied will be 1 minus 0, that is 1. Again it used to be 1, 1. Is it clear? Next, for the incremental change in input, the incremental output realized will be 15 minus 10, that is 5, 20 minus 15, that is 5, 25 minus 20, that is 5. So the ratio used to be 5, 5 and 5. Okay, what you need to observe is, in this particular case, MPP or the ratio of incremental change in output to incremental change of input has remained the same throughout the process of production. Okay, that is what we call it as constant returns to a variable factor. That means every unit, every additional unit of input applied is going to add same level to the output than the previous unit. Okay, the same thing can be algebraically represented as delta 1 y by delta 1 x, delta 2 y by delta 2 x, delta 3 y by delta 3 x. Okay, now we need to see that what sort of relation these incremental changes will be having. This used to be the delta 1 y by delta 1 x, this used to be delta 2 y by delta 2 x, and this used to be delta 3 y by delta 3 x. Now if you observe delta 1 y by delta 1 x, delta 2 y by delta 2 x, delta 3 y by delta 3 x, it has remained same. So we need to put equal sign here. Okay. Now the variables which are in the tabular form, the same thing can be graphically represented. Once it is graphically depicted means it used to be this form, means it used to be linear. Okay, how we can get that? See here, for every horizontal move, same horizontal move, that is additional horizontal move, it used to be 1. For the horizontal move, the vertical move 1x, this used to be delta 1y, this used to be delta 2x, this used to be delta 2y, this used to be delta 3x, this used to be delta 3y. You know that delta 1x is 1, delta 1y is 5, this used to be 1, this used to be 5, this used to be 1, this used to be 5. So, the same expression can be depicted graphically and it used to be of this form, and you know that when y is plotted against x, the resulting curve, what we used to get, we call it as production function. So, the nature of production curve in case of constant returns to variable factor used to be linear. Okay. These are the different aspects what you need to remember, and seldomly we find, or it is very difficult to find this type of returns to a variable factor in case of agriculture. We can find this type of returns to variable factor only in case of industry. Okay, is it clear? Okay, last type of response is that it is decreasing returns to a variable factor. That is, when every successive unit of variable input is applied on fixed factor land, okay, the resulting output will be lesser and lesser compared to the previous unit. Okay, so we will understand this with an example such that it becomes very clear. So here the input applied will be in the same portion. That is, it will be applied in the manner of a successive increase. That is 0 to 1 to 2 to 3. That means successive unit increase will be by 1 unit. Okay, that you understand. Okay, the corresponding output will be 20, 26. Okay, though it seems to be hypothetical, but you try to understand that how it will going to respond. Okay, it used to be 20, 26, 30, okay, 32. Once you look into the nature of this y, it is exhibiting increasing trend. Is it not? Though it is exhibiting increasing trend, but increase used to be at decreasing rate. Hence it is called as decreasing rate comes to be a variable factor. That will be understood only when we estimate MPP. That is, when we estimate the response part, that is incremental change in output to incremental change in input. So here incremental change in input will be 1, 1, 1. And incremental change in output used to be 26 minus 20, that is 6. 30 minus 26, it is 4. 32 minus 30, it used to be 2. Okay. So the ultimate response used to be 6, 4 and 2. So once we depict this x and y graphically, then the nature of production curve what we obtain, it used to be concave to origin. Okay. The shape used to be concave. Okay. Now you observe this particular MP. What has happened in the production process? Once you observe this, see here delta 1 y by delta 1 x. This used to be delta 2 y by delta 2 x, and this used to be delta 3 y by delta 3 x. Okay. This used to be a greater figure compared to this one. This used to be more than this one. So that when we establish a functional relation in algebraic representation, it will be, this will be more than this, so that it used to have a greater than symbol. Okay, that you remember. This can be understood. See here, every horizontal move we're going to bear a response in dependent variable in this manner. The first response used to be more. For the same horizontal move, the move in dependent variable, that is y, it reduces than the previous unit. Try to understand. Next, for the same horizontal move, we used to have a reduced response from y, so that the shape used to be concave. Okay, this is a typical response what we used to observe in case of agriculture. Okay, the typical response among the three, one is increasing returns to variable factor, decreasing returns to variable factor, and constant returns to variable factor. The most commonly observed type of returns to variable factor in agriculture, it used to be decreasing returns to variable factor. Okay, this is about loss of returns, or you can say that factor product relationship. Okay.